A drug lord is a powerful figure involved in the illegal drug trade. These individuals typically lead or control drug cartels, which are organized crime syndicates that manage the cultivation, manufacture, and trafficking of drugs. Drug lords wield significant influence, often using violence, bribery, and corruption to maintain their power and protect their operations. In this video, we are going to discuss the life documentary of top most and famous drug lord named as Pablo Escobar. But before we start the video, if you are new on channel, then please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for such an amazing content. So let's start. Pablo Escobar, one of the most notorious drug lords in history, was born on December 1st, 1949, in Rio Negro, a town in the Antioquia department of Colombia. He grew up in a nearby town called Medellin, which later became the center of his drug empire. Escobar's father, Abel de Jesus Dari Escobar Echeverri, was a farmer, while his mother, Hermilda de los Dolores Gaviria Berrio, worked as a schoolteacher. The family was relatively poor, and Escobar's upbringing was modest, which is often cited as a motivating factor behind his later criminal activities aimed at acquiring wealth and power. Pablo attended the local school and showed some promise as a student, but he was more inclined towards street life and making money. He reportedly dropped out of college, where he briefly studied to become an electrical engineer, and soon turned to a life of crime to fulfill his ambitions. By his late teens, he had become involved in more serious criminal enterprises, such as car theft, which marked the beginning of his career in organized crime. Escobar's ruthlessness and cunning allowed him to gain influence in Medellin's underworld. In the 1970s, Escobar became involved in the cocaine trade, which was rapidly becoming a lucrative business due to the high demand in the United States and other countries. He initially worked as a smuggler, helping to transport cocaine from Colombia to the U.S. His ability to establish connections with suppliers, traffickers, and corrupt officials helped him build a vast and highly profitable drug empire, leading to the formation of the Medellin cartel, one of the most powerful and violent drug trafficking organizations in history. More smuggling shipments, routes, and distribution networks in South Florida, California, Puerto Rico, and other parts of the country. He and cartel co-founder Carlos later worked together to develop a new transshipment point in the Bahamas, an island called Norman's Cay, about 350 kilometers, 220 miles, southeast of the Florida coast. Escobar and Robert Vesco purchased most of the land on the island, which included a 1-kilometer, 3,300 ft airstrip, a harbor, a hotel, houses, boats, and aircraft, and they built a refrigerated warehouse to store the cocaine. After the assassination of Luis Carlos Galan, the administration of Cesar Gaviria moved against Escobar and the drug cartels. Eventually, the government negotiated with Escobar and convinced him to surrender and cease all criminal activity in exchange for a reduced sentence and preferential treatment during his captivity. Declaring an end to a series of previous violent acts meant to pressure authorities and public opinion, Escobar surrendered to Colombian authorities in 1991. In 1991, facing mounting pressure from the Colombian government and the U.S., Escobar agreed to surrender in exchange for a reduced sentence and protection from extradition. He was incarcerated in a luxurious self-built prison called La Catedral, where he continued to run his drug empire. However, after the government attempted to move him to a more secure facility in 1992, Escobar escaped. Following his escape, a massive manhunt was launched by the Colombian National Police, with support from U.S. intelligence agencies. On December 2, 1993, a day after his 44th birthday, Escobar was tracked down and killed by the Colombian National Police in a rooftop shootout in Medellin. His death marked the end of the Medellin cartel's dominance, though drug trafficking and violence continued in the region. Escobar's life and criminal career have numerous books, documentaries, films, and television series, including the popular Netflix series Narcos. His story remains a symbol of the complex relationship between crime, power, and society. Bye.